everybody, welcome back to Desert Sky Tarot. Today we're going to be doing our monthly reading on Scorpio. This is going to be for January 2024, but having said that, just because that's when we are reading, Happy New Year's, by the way, doesn't mean that this reading is specifically like isolated to January 2024. This is a timeless reading. So if this video has caught your attention and if it resonates with you, then there is a message here for you. So please make sure to watch it and take from it what you can. Okay, so let's see what else. Oh, this is a general reading, so if it doesn't resonate with you, that's okay. But if it does, make sure to leave comments below, like the video for me, subscribe to the channel if you're watching on YouTube. All those things really help us out. And of course, once again, if you have any questions, if you want to chat more about it, if you have specific questions on this particular reading, let me know and I'll pull it back up. I'll pull up the spread and see what else we can pull out with your particular situation. So having said that, let's go on and get started and see what the month, or rather the reading, has in store for you. Okay, very interesting spread, my friends. Let's go on and just kind of, I've taken a just quick overview here, but let's just break this down piece by piece and see what comes to us. So we're starting out with the isolation card and the projections card. Isolation card is about kind of being stuck in the feelings, not being able to move past the emotion, being kind of frozen in time emotionally. And then we have the projections card. And when I read this, a lot of times I think about the idea that it's kind of like the first impressions, or not showing your authentic self. Like you have a shell that you put out there for the world to see, but on the reverse end, it's about the knowledge that other people have that same shell. And do you really know the person or the people that you want to know, or is that their facade? And I think, of course, close friendships and relationships, the longer you know somebody, that stuff starts to break down, but there's that whole component there. So I think that in this particular situation, just kind of looking at everything, I think that I almost feel like this is something to where you're projecting out to other people saying, hey, this is who I am. But when you are on the inside, that you're stuck. You don't feel good. You don't feel the way that you want to feel, and you're trying to figure out how to break that cycle. You're frozen. You don't want that anymore. You want to thaw out. You want to move forward. So I think people very much perceive the projection of you, and you're very good at that. But I also think that's kind of dangerous to a certain degree, in that over a long enough period of time, you gotta figure that you gotta be able to release that. You gotta start being more authentic. If not, I think that the serious damage could happen. Let's take a look at. We got the rightness card here that ties in as well, and the rightness card. Okay, let me back up just a little bit, because I do want to look at the numbers here. The 3 for the isolation, that's growth. That makes sense to me, because again, you are wanting to break free of this, you're wanting to grow out of this, you're wanting to become a new person. 7s are the confidence and that you obtain from going through experiences and overcoming things. So that makes sense to me as well. In terms of what, I'm thinking just kind of in terms of what you're trying to accomplish, what you're doing, where you're at with everything as well, just to make sure I get a good feel for the energy that's coming off this spread, this reading. And then we have the rightness card. And so I think that's where I was kind of trying to piece these together, is that the rightness card is, the 9 is about like attainment, like you're there, that you're finally there type of deal. When I read this from the artwork, what usually jumps out to me is the fact that this apple, when it's ripe, it'll fall from the tree, which basically tells me that things will happen when they're supposed to happen. Don't go, if you pick it too soon, it's not going to be ripe. If you wait too long to, if it sits up there too long, or you wait too long after it drops, it's going to be rotten. That this is the right time. So I almost feel like you've been kind of here, you've known what's been going on. Maybe you haven't known how to kind of break out of this, but now's the right time. So this may not feel great, but I think the energy of the moment is now is the right time. So in that, that's allowing us to move forward in this. And so that's a good thing. So let's see what else we have here. Okay, so we have the Fool. This is the actions that you're currently taking because of this situation, or as a result of the situation. And the Fool is new beginnings, it's a new journey. It's just doing the trust fall thing to take you wherever life is going to lead you, and not really too concerned about the consequences right now because it can't get any worse. And you just are enthusiastic and you're optimistic about the future. And I think that's a result of kind of shaking this off. So the time is right. You're taking action. I love it. I mean, you're doing a new direction. You don't know what's ahead of you, but it doesn't matter what's ahead of you because you don't like what's behind you. And I think that's where this time, this cycle where you've been kind of stuck here, you're just at a point where you're just finally like, well, it can't get any worse. So why not? Why not? So I think that's great. The next thing is, I like the courage card here too, because I mean, so the courage card is really about, for me, whenever I read this, it's about, it's the backstory of the card that I really like about this. And the backstory of the card, just briefly, is, a seed is down here somewhere in the stone wall, and it has two choices. It can either grow or it can die. Now, the growth part is scary. I mean, it has to, crawl, has to grow through some damp, tight, wet spots or whatever else to get to the sunlight to be who it's supposed to be. And that's a scary journey, but the alternative is to die. I feel like that for you. The journey is scary. You don't know what's ahead, but the only other alternative for you is just to be stuck where you're at. And that's is it. You're done with that. You're over. I mean, that is a catalyst. You're done. You are moving forward. So that's great. I like that. And the beautiful thing about this is that the moment they pop out of this wall, that seed sprouts into the flower, which is becoming its true self. It's capturing its potential. It's becoming what it was supposed to be in the first place. And that's what I feel like is going on for you. So you got your journey of the Fool, which is coming through these dark places, but once it's out, it's going to be great. And this really boils down to a choice. I mean, I think the lesson here is choice. Make life what you want life to be, dictate what life is going to be, make that choice and act on it. Right here, I think you've been stuck. I don't think you made a choice. I think it was always, well, what if, or, all the excuses, whatever else. But, this comes down to, you have to make a choice. And when you make a choice one way or another, you start moving, regardless of where it'll actually end up. But at the end of that journey, even if you can't see it, you're going to turn out exactly in the spot that you were supposed to be the entire time. And the longer you wait, the more of this you're going to feel. So again, if you're here and you're like trying to figure out what to do, go take action today, make a choice, move, change. Okay. I don't think you're here. You may be here, but if you're not here and you've already moved past this, great. We'll continue on the journey. But if you are happen to be in this situation right here, this is the path. This is what you have to do. Okay. The time's now. You're watching this video. There's a reason. This is a sign. Time's now. Get moving. It doesn't matter where you actually go, because no matter where you end up, it's going to be better than where this is. Okay. So let's take a look at some of the things that will kind of help us along the way. Once you get moving, you're going to start seeing things clearly, a lot more clear. It's going to be new ideas, it's going to be a new way of looking at life, it's a new perspective. So I think that's one of the things that this action, that's why this action is important, because once that happens, you're going to start seeing things in a way that you're supposed to see them, that'll keep you moving in the right direction. So that's one thing to look out for. Another thing to understand is that this is an opportunity to change who you are from the ground up. So right now, this person, whatever is happening here, who you were or who you currently are, depending on where you're at right now with this development, is somewhere down here in the muck and the clouds or whatever. But as we move through this path, we are moving up to the person that we're supposed to be. And it doesn't mean it's going to be smooth. What I like about this card here is that oftentimes when you evolve from one thing to the next, and as you're trying to find yourself, a lot of times we overcompensate. So, I mean, we could go from the camel and be tired of being this camel in the cloud and gray and the muck, but then go too far, as the super assertive, aggressive lion, that's just taking life by everything and just tearing it up. And then you realize that maybe, okay, I've gone too far and I need to readjust again. And that is the path. It's there's going to be ups and there's going to be downs. You're going to overcompensate, you're going to undercompensate. But at the end of the day, you just got to keep moving forward and work your way to this point, and you will get to the place that you're going to be. So that's another thing that I want you to keep in mind, that once you start seeing clearly, you're going to start that evolution process. You're really going to start pulling yourself out of that. So that is a signpost as well. Hey, take a look at this. So this basically says, will this go, this position is, hey, is this going to be challenging? Is this going to go smooth? What is this? Actually, regardless of where this is at, the past lives card is a perfect placement for what we've been talking about, or a perfect card for what we've been talking about, because it's about breaking cycles. And if you think about past lives or reincarnations, it's about living different lives. But the point is there's a cycle. It's a cyclical thing there. You are stuck in this cycle and you need to break free of this. And that's what I think this is really speaking to. I do think this is going to be a little bit of a challenge. There's nothing wrong with that. You just need to be aware of it. It's not going to go like smooth all the time, but that's what we're talking about kind of here with a rebirth card, because you're changing your mindset and you're having a different perspective, so it takes time to set in. But again, that's not a worry. Just because there's challenges ahead of you, this is a lot worse. This is nothing compared to this. So I'm not too worried about that, but it is a cyclical deal. I think it's something you need to break free from. I think it will be a little bit of a challenge, but it'll be well worth when it was all said and done. Now, down here, kind of in the timing, we have the receptivity card. This is a very kind of like stable card. To me, is saying, be open. Take the movement, take the actions, make the movements, be open to whatever comes. Because once again, no matter what it is, take it as it comes. It's better than the isolation. So I mean, if it comes quick, fine. If it slows down all of a sudden, fine. Go with the flow, be open, because there's a reason that life is throwing this stuff at you, because that's what you need at that particular point in time. Okay. And then let's see here. This is interesting because generally speaking, this is, I usually see this as a person that will influence events. Sometimes it's a situation that will influence the events, this path for you. But in this particular case, maybe it's because it's the man in the middle, but so this is exhaustion, and this is a 9 card, and this is a card of saying, hey, I've achieved, I've attained. But what's interesting about this particular card for me is the man looks exhausted. It's the bruised warrior, the exhausted warrior. He's been a champ, just like you. You've been a champ. But the thing is he's kind of built into his own prison here too. So I do think this is a person for you, or it is you, okay? Because this can describe personality types. This could be how you're feeling when we kind of get up here. I know I'm on, maybe, but I still want to feel, I feel like this is a person. I feel like this is a person. This is somebody that you see. It's a mentor. It's a guide. It's somebody that you respect. It's somebody that you take a look at and be like, oh, that could be me, type of deal. And this feels on the surface, in terms of the way it looks, almost like a negative card, but then you combine it with the guidance, and I think this person is going to help you achieve what you need to achieve, because he is an example of almost kind of like what you don't want to be. So it's almost like, when I see this, I need to do this. I don't want to go down this route. It's a reminder. It's not a negative thing, a degradation on that person. It is saying that this isn't the right path for me. This is an example of the path I could have gone down or have been going down, and I want to break free from that, so I don't have to deal with that, so I don't have to feel that way, so I don't have to be in that position. So it's again one of those signposts that tells you, it gives you direction. You don't want to go down that route, take a right, not a left. And that's guidance. I mean, that's so I'm saying, it helps you. It helps you move you in the right direction. It helps you know that you're making the right choices here. So let's kind of circle back here real quick and just look at this again. This is going to be tough because this is going to kind of come in and out. This new thought process, this new way of looking at things. When you realize you're looking at things a little bit different, hold on to that, because you want to make that permanent. It's going to take a little time to kind of solidify. Two, understand this is an evolution process and not every day is going to be smooth. Take the ups and the downs and just know that it's okay. And then also know that once you break this, that's it. Okay. Once you're out of this situation, that's it. So that's some of that encouragement saying, okay, I need to keep moving forward because I can't go back to this. But once I'm done with this, I'm done with this. Once I kick the sweet tooth, I'll never have it again. Whatever that is. I'm not talking about sweet tooth addiction, but just know that once it's behind you, and that stuff takes time. Be open to this. Look out for this signpost of this person, because he's going to be an excellent guide to point you in the right direction, and also indicate that you're kind of nearing the end of this particular leg of the journey. Okay, so there was a lot there. If you have any questions on this, please let me know in the comments below. Shoot me a message. More than happy to talk to you a bit more if you have specific questions on this, if this resonates with you. And that's it. We'll wrap it up for this reading. Thank you very much for watching. I hope this has been helpful, and we will see you next time.